Jalen Jacoby is presented by Samuel Adams.
He is Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen Jacoby. What exactly is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
Later on in the show, we'll be joined by a gentleman named Rose Stradamus who has visions of the future of two NBA superstars. But we start with the Monday Night Football game last night. We will get into what got us to this point, but here's how the game ended with everything on the line. Justin Herbert throws a pass to Mike Williams. Marshawn Lattimore keeps him from getting the first down on fourth down, and the Saints win the game. With the win, however, there was a lot of reason to feel a little suspect about these Saints. Do you still feel like they are contenders to win the NFC?
I don't believe right now they're playing as such, Jacoby. First off, the guy who caught more footballs than anyone ever punched one of his teammates and was suspended for the game.
Yes.
The game starts and the defense gives up 4 passing TDs to a rookie quarterback. Also, Drew Brees is doing a lot of dinking and dunking. And it seems while the defense is having those miscommunications, one of those touchdowns, Mike Williams was so wide open, maybe I could have caught that and walked it in. They still have Cameron Jordan, who's a beast, and their defensive line is awesome. And Alvin Kamara is showing everybody that he's about to be the best back in the league this entire season. But in order for them to achieve their goals and really be looked at on the level of like those other top-tier NFC teams, they got to get healthy and they got to improve their communication.
And you mentioned Drew Brees dinking and dunking, but there was something else going on at the quarterback position for the Saints that was very curious. Sean Payton kept going back to what I call the Taysom Hill experience. They put him in early in the game. Some strange things happened with Taysom Hill. And then while he did, throw the ball all over and not play well. He did get one touchdown towards the end, but it's 3rd and 4, and you're taking Drew Brees off the field in a key situation and putting Taysom Hill on the field. What does that tell you about Sean Payton's sort of philosophy to this quarterback position with the Saints?
Well, Sean Payton's an offensive genius, and he and Drew Brees are respectfully understanding his challenges because that touchdown that Taysom Hill ran in that action, that was something that unlocks their offense. When you have Kamara going in one direction and he's able to run that in the way he did, that's not a play that Drew Brees could have made. And so they do a good job of having both of their backs out there and throwing them to him out of the backfield and showing lots of variations. But I'm not going to necessarily overreact to Taysom Hill taking snaps on big downs. It's going to be scrutinized when they don't work. I think the bigger conversation, it further acknowledges that he's not the starter and he's not the guy to replace Drew Brees when it's all said and done because he's still being used more like a gadget player at that position, which is okay because he's really effective and you want to get him on the field.
You know Jameis Winston is sitting on that sideline being like, I might get a shot at this before the year's over. Like, Jameis is there being like, Drew doesn't look great, especially in the first half. And there's a part of him that's saying, I could be what Teddy Bridgewater was last year, except without being an injured Drew Brees that he replaces. We will keep an eye on that. But there's something that was happening in that game that needs to be addressed. And that is the quarterback play of Justin Air Bear, as I call him, Justin Herbert. He was not even taking first team snaps. Not even taking first team snaps. Comes in the game for Tyrod Taylor, who had a punctured lung due to the medical team of the Chargers. And look at these deep balls that he throws. Like, he throws a great ball. He looks so good. And he was just inches away from getting that fourth down conversion to lead his team potentially to a victory over the Saints. I just want to recognize how well he has played as when you do your face in the hands thing, it really bothers me. Is it because I called him Air Bear? Air Bear is just the French pronunciation of his last name, Jill. It's not a nickname. It's just the French pronunciation of his last name. It is not a nickname. Go ahead, do your thing.
Well, no, I was going to say how this was an imperfect storm for the Chargers to me because they have one of the few black coaches in the NFL. They had a black starting quarterback who got his lung punctured by the medical staff. He was forced to go in there and do what he said was one of the toughest conversations he's ever had to have and that's tell Tyrod Taylor that he's not going to be the starting quarterback. Now that's black on black crime in the NFL.
Well, when you look at the way that Justin Herbert has played, you would keep him as a starting quarterback yourself, wouldn't you, Jalen? Be honest. Look at these balls.
Well, now that he's out there and getting the opportunity, it justifies it. But I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback it, because of what if he's thrown 4 interceptions? How would we perceive it as well? So I just feel bad for Taylor that he lost his job not only due to injury, but the way it happened. And it seems like just in life, how everybody just moves on. Everybody just moves on. And I want everybody to always remember that when you have your personal pain, depression, or anxiety, there will be a lot of people to tell you how much, hey, I got your back, I care, I listen, I care. But ultimately, that's how I felt about that situation last night. I just felt like he got done so unfairly, and it really made me feel like I wanted to express that.
Understood. Well, Jalen, obviously the tragic injury to Dak Prescott, the reverberations continue to echo day after day after day since it happened. And the latest is Stephen Jones, not Jerry Jones, was on the radio and 105.3 The Fan, and here's what he said.
The stance has been that the plan was for Dak to be the Cowboys quarterback for the long haul, and that was Dak's message too. After yesterday, did that change, and do you see that changing in the future?
Absolutely not. You know, Dak's such a warrior, and he's been through a lot, and he's always overcome it, and this is going to be no exception. Anyone can overcome anything and beat Dak.
Jalen, you said that Dak is the face of the franchise. What do you think about the sentiment from Stephen Jones?
I'm going to keep going back to this example. NFL players do not have guaranteed contracts other than their signing bonus. We've talked about that. We've had Richard Sherman on the show to talk about that. They're in a position when it's time to get paid and you feel like you have leverage, you must do it. I'm happy to see a lot of media members and fans understand that and not vilify the player when they hold out using their leverage to get paid. The example I've been saying all summer is D-Hop needed to leave Houston to get his money from the Cardinals. Once he departed, that allowed Watson to get his money from Houston. And then the owner was going to fire the coach, fire the GM. That's what happened. In Dallas, I feel once they paid Zeke and paid all of the other people, including Amari Cooper and the people on the defense, now in order to pay Dak, they're going to have to choose between him and Zeke contractually. And so now that Dak is injured, you can't tell me that you feel like he's the face of the franchise when you didn't pay him top dollar when he was healthy. Now you're going to be more committed to giving him a long-term deal after he comes off of a compound fracture of his ankle. Either that's going to be a severe discount or it's going to have so many incentives in it that Dak isn't going to want to sign it. That's why I feel like he's not being genuine when he says that.
I can agree with that. And one thing I saw with this injury, it looked so bad, it was so gruesome, but it looked like the timetable is going to be 4 to 6 months. Let's call 6 months. That puts you in April of 2021. That gives him plenty of time to get back, to rehab, to go to OTAs, and to spend time this offseason, prove that he's healthy, and get the deal that he deserves. And that's how I hope it plays out. Now, Jalen, there are from time to times when you see visions. You're like an oracle of the NBA. You see the future. And that is when you turn into a man named Rostradamus. Now, Rostradamus, welcome to the program. We saw the Miami Heat lose in the NBA Finals, and you saw visions of the future of this franchise, and it involved an MVP. Please explain, Rostradamus.
As the Milwaukee Bucks walked off the court, and big shout to them, though. The way you guys stood up for social justice, it's outstanding. Amazing leadership. I am forever grateful. We're forever grateful as a society the sacrifices you guys made there. But on the basketball court, having the best record in the NBA and the reigning back-to-back MVP and not making it to the finals, I saw this happen before. The player name was LeBron James. And you know what he ended up doing? He left Cleveland for Miami. And Rostradamus believes if the Milwaukee Bucks do not achieve their goals, like making it to the finals next year, the hourglass is now flipped on Giannis's time being in Milwaukee. And that exit could now end up placing him in Miami, the team that beat the Milwaukee Bucks this year.
So what you are saying is if the Bucks don't perform up to expectations, Giannis will leave Milwaukee and head to the Miami Heat, just to confirm.
Yes, that's what Rostradamus believes.
Wow. Jalen, we have a huge Titans-Bills undefeated matchup coming up tonight. We'll preview that and much more. Stay tuned. You're watching Jalen Jacoby. Coming to you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. It is time for the segment where Jalen decides what we discuss. It is Keep It Moving.
Wu-Tang! Wu-Tang!
If you would like to discuss topics, say hit the brakes. If not, we will keep it moving. And we start with the battle of the undefeated Buffalo Bills going up against the undefeated Tennessee Covids. Sorry, I meant Tennessee Titans. Jalen, you know that I have jumped on the Bills bandwagon, and I can't wait to see my Buffalo Bills beat the Titans tonight. Do you think they will go to 5-0 on Tuesday Night Football?
I believe the Titans find a way to win because people like you making slight remarks about them trying to sneak into practice during COVID and not quarantining basically 10 days after one person got the outbreak. It's fascinating they're going to continue to play these games, but I have a number for you, 256. That's the number of games the NFL will need to play for everybody to complete the season and get their full checks. So they're trying by all means to play these games.
I just want to say this on wax that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have become one of the best quarterback receiver duos in the entire NFL, and you will see that on display tonight on primetime Tuesday Night Football. Moving on.
Derrick Henry.
We might know who the new coach of the Houston Rockets is. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Our guy Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Ty Lue is gaining momentum to become the Rockets coach. Jeff Van Gundy, our colleague, will also meet with the team. Jalen, what do you think about the fit between Ty Lue and the Rockets?
Here's the one thing I want everybody to pay attention to, and this is what happens if you become the kind of great player that James Harden has become. A scoring champion, an isolation master. You get used to playing one way. The challenge for the next coach is going to be to get James to play and move without the ball and cut offensively. And that's going to have to be somebody that's able to earn his trust and communicate on a nightly basis. So I am not surprised you're throwing around names like Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy because that's a couple of their specialties.
I really hope they hire Ty Lue because I think that would be great for the organization, and I love Jeff Van Gundy in the broadcast. Moving on. The Lakers have an update about their potential parade. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes. All Lakers hit the brakes.
They are going to delay their public celebration, a.k.a. parade, because of COVID-19 safety concerns. Is it weird to have a parade for the 2020 championship in the year 2023?
No, dog. You got to delay it. This the 17th tie for most of all time. You need Clipper fans to watch this up close and personal. You need to take your time, plan this, and let them wait as long as possible. Put this in the crock pot. Put this in the oven. Just let it simmer. Don't get a parade until as many people as possible can come, because everybody thought either the Lakers or the Clippers would win the championship. Everybody thought that. Nobody thought that the Clippers would get bounced and not play against the Lakers? Oh, man, this is going to be one of their favorite parades.
Jalen, Patrick Mahomes says he can do another unworldly thing. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
I see him do unworldly stuff every Sunday. Keep it moving for now. We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
A gentleman by the name of Garrett Gilbert has been hired by America's team. Let me tell you a little bit about Garrett Gilbert. He was drafted in 2014. He has been on the practice squad or the team for the Rams, the Patriots, the Lions, the Raiders, the Panthers, the Apollos, the Browns, and now the Cowboys. Do you think this is the future of the franchise for the Cowboys?
I think Jerry was like, I'm just going to pick somebody that I believe not going to take a knee.
Yeah.
Can't make this up.
Well, we'll see what Mr. Gilbert does during the national anthem. Moving on. The Braves stole game 1 against the Dodgers in the NLCS. Austin Riley's 9th inning home run from the 9th spot led an offensive surge. Then they took game 1. Jalen, will the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw win game 2?
Dear Major League Baseball, I'm one of the only black Americans that continue to support you guys, whether it's regular season, postseason, whether it's the regular full schedule or the abbreviated schedule. And the thing that I love is that the Atlanta Braves are now allowing their players to actually have fun, dance, celebrate, wear chains, and enjoy themselves.
Hit the brakes, Reg. Hit the brakes again.
Actually out there having fun, enjoying himself.
Jalen, you are not one of the only black Americans that still support Major League Baseball. I just need to say that out loud into a microphone, just as a correction for the program in partnership of Jalen and Jacoby.
You do know that sport is 8% black, right? You do know that, right?
Yes.
Their audience is vastly different than the NBA and the NFL.
Also a fact. But the idea that it's like you and 7 other black people are the only ones watching Major League Baseball at this point is absolutely not a fact. And I will not allow you to say that on a program with my name on it. We will keep it moving. Jalen, are you interested in seeing one of the greatest, if not the greatest knockout in the history of mixed martial arts?
Yes.
Let's see it. I know you might have seen it on Sunday or Saturday, but we got to show you now. That is Joaquin Buckley. And watch his foot get grabbed and watch what he does next. Boom! Oh! Without putting his other foot down. Jalen, how amazing is this knockout?
He almost knocked the mohawk off that dude. That was crazy.
He sure did. Every week,
what a way to make a living.
All of the NFL football, and then we break it down into one single takeaway. The Tuesday takeaways are next on Jalen Jacoby.
That's how I look with my shirt off. Let me show you.
Please don't. Go to break. You don't want to miss this one. Vasily Lomachenko against Teofimo Lopez. That is Saturday night at 10 p.m. The World Lightweight Championship belt is on the line. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, we each spend all Sunday and Monday night watching all of the games in the NFL. And then on Tuesday, we bring you Tuesday Takeaways. Tuesday Takeaways is the one thing that we each synthesized, broke the entire NFL weekend down into. Jalen, what is your Tuesday takeaway?
In my favorite Master P voice, get your paper! So many times, we get caught up in the accolades and the stats. You know what I want? When people show me appreciation, the cash that could change the dynamics of my family for generations. And when you see somebody holding out because they feel like they have the leverage to get that, think about Dak Prescott's injury. There's a big difference between signing a $30 million deal and a $150 million deal. And so now he's going to go into free agency in April when they're drafting new players into the NFL with a compound fracture in his ankle, trying to figure out where he's going to be playing football next year with an incentive-laden contract.
Jalen, my Tuesday takeaway is also depressing. It's hard to get old. I'm 43, you're like 57, and we're just the aches and pains and creakiness, and we saw it in the NFL this weekend. It started all the way back on last Thursday with Tom Brady. Wasn't playing well, had a senior moment right at the crucial part of the game at the end. You saw it last night with Drew Brees just not playing great, especially in the first half. And let's not forget Philip Rivers. Just because he's on the Colts, a lot of people give him a pass. Philip Rivers has been pretty terrible this season as well. It is hard to be a professional athlete over 40. We all saw LeBron James almost win the MVP and win the NBA championship. He's 35. There's a big difference between 35 and over 40, and you are seeing it every Sunday in the NFL. Go ahead.
And you left somebody out, Matt Ryan. And what this tells me as we do cultural and regional, the league, that position is getting away from the older white guys. It's getting away from them, dog.
It really is.
It's getting away from them. You got Mahomes, you got Jackson, you got Watson.
Watching Josh Allen tonight, quarterback the Bills. Josh Allen can run the ball. He can throw the ball. I love him so much. Make sure you check in with us tomorrow, ESPN at 2 p.m. and subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. We have new podcasts every single day.
You're far too kind.